Alright, our Ghetto Experience mode out of this. As you can see, we just ticked over about 300 entities right here, so let's go ahead and I have it in manual mode, so let's hit the button. You lose a few. And then we just smack them. Unfortunately, I don't have a splash heal potion right now because we haven't set up a melon farm. I have a feeling that's going to come very shortly because this is very annoying to do. Here we go. Let's do hostile creatures off. Alright. So yeah, this is very annoying to do, as you can see. But I'm level 44 already. I started at what, 30, 35? One of the other oversights that we've kind of had with this is stopping additional pigmen from falling in when we actually unlock to hit them. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to do some kind of delay piston thing that opens up when we hit a button, gives it a count, or I don't know. I'll have to give it some thought, figure it out. It looks like these guys are pretty much dead. I'm just getting a bunch of fully populated pigmen here. So we're gonna have to figure some way to fix this, but it's just in beta mode at the moment, so nothing too bad. It's merely just to actually get some of the experience from it. There we go. Let's kick it back into auto mode. I'm gonna bring that up to here so we can hit this button to activate that. But that lever needs to go all the way back up there. I'm thinking redstone conduit for that. You can see that's a lot of zombie heads, and it's not gonna find a lot of space on our wall for all of that. So we're gonna have to figure out a better way. Well, we found a jungle biome, and from the looks of it, we have a jungle temple. I'm gonna go and raid it real quick and see if we get anything good. Well, I would say I have fully explored this jungle temple. I'm sure these mossy bricks will come in handy for a later build project. But I think that's it for this thing. Well, I think this is quarry number 7, probably, maybe 6. You can see it throwing the pieces of the quarry down here. So far we've been making pretty good bank out of these. And the last one I went and picked up a good chunk of the harvest, and it looks like it finished up what little bit was still left in there. So we're gonna start the next one, thinking that this will be the most efficient way, where I just leave the center platform all constructed and I do a quadrant at a time and do all 4 and then move to the next spot. I'll probably just skip over that one, go out another 35 and build another platform, and just hop my way around this ocean area just like this and get lots and lots of free stuff. Look at that. Oh, so much better than an efficiency pickaxe. I think this is probably the main reason why I won't be playing Snapshot very frequently, is this is just a lot more fun to get the resources so I can focus more on building what I'd like to build rather than having to spend time in the cellar and pickaxing miles of stone. This would have taken a long time to completely clear cut like this. So, I noticed something odd when I was placing our quarry here. It would not collect a lot of stuff. I would look in the chest after it was done, and there was just a little bit of gravel and some dirt, you know, about kind of what I had just left, really. And when I came back, it hadn't really picked up a whole lot of extra stuff, and I wasn't sure why. But then I thought about it for a second and was like, wait, this is a chunk loader, but it's not infinite. So I went and pulled up our F9 debug here, and apparently over there, as well as over here, I had placed the chests right on the border of this chunk. I actually moved them forward one to test my theory, but it put the chunk line right here, and so these would be actively running and pushing our entities up and into the pipe and then down, and then it would hit the end of the pipe and hit an unloaded chunk right here, at which point I'm assuming they just kind of hovered there until the chunk got loaded when I came back and then promptly fell through the world. But now, as you can see, it's actually ending up with our entities in the chest as expected. All is well. I'm just going to have to keep an eye on where I place the chests, make sure that they're within this loaded chunk area, just to make sure that we actually keep getting the benefits from the quarry, because it kind of sucks to miss out on diamonds for a couple of quarries going, man, these must just be some pretty dearth areas here. But nope, it was a bad placement of our chests in relation to our quarry. So always make sure you keep an eye on that and don't screw up like I did. Oh, and yes, that is a weather skeleton skull you see in my inventory. So I have just come back from the nether, and we have done it. Check this out. We now have our 3 wither skeleton skulls. Now I just need to find out good place and time to use those, and I think we'll have an exciting outcome from that. But in the meantime, I have done something else. I have myself a fully built tesseract, and I am in the process of making the second one here. We just need to put 4 ender pearls into our magma crucible, and that's going to fill up our fluid transposer, and it's going to stuff that directly into our tesseract frame here. So while that's filling up, let's go and get the other components we need. We have to have some tinker alloy and tin, if I recall correctly. No, it was silver. And let's see what the tinker alloy was made out of. It was copper powder and tin powder. So let's grab a copper bar here. And we got a tin one already. We'll just throw that in our pulverize here. Need 3 and a tin. Alright. And it requires the induction smelter here. Where'd our tin go? Oh, there it is. And there we go. Let's pull out our now full frame. And we surround it like so. Must have got that one wrong. Silver, tinker, full frame. Oh, that's our tesseract. That's why. Silver. There we go. And now we have it. 2 full tesseracts that we can now use at our disposal. As you can see, it requires a diamond, some hardened glass, and 4 Endurium ingots, which are made with Endurium blend and pyrotheum dust, which requires sulfur, blaze powder, redstone, coal, and the blend requires tin, shiny metal, silver, and resonant ender in a bucket. And that takes, what, 4 pearls in itself? So they're very, very, very expensive. But now that we got 2, I can go ahead and build our quarry storage somewhere in this room or nearby, and just have the items from the quarry come straight into our main base here, and we won't have to worry about having all that mobile construction at our quarry, and we can make it a lot tighter of a space, not have to spend so much time there, since we don't have to tear down and rebuild every single time. But it does have the other downside of needing to be in a loaded chunk. And what we have done is we do have a chunk loader add-on here. It's called Dimensional Anchor. But what it does is it gives us the ability to load chunks. I got a 3x3 square area loaded right now, so it loads all of our crafting and smelting stuff, and also has these in place of it, and our engines. And that's mainly what I'm wanting to keep this active for. I really wish it was a little bit easier to use, kind of like our chicken chunks was back in our 1.6.4 world. It actually had a lot of convenient features to see what it was loading, and you could adjust a little easier how much area to load. And this one, as you saw, does have a chunk cap. It only allows each player to load 9 chunks. So it's kind of got some downsides, but it does have the advantage of not requiring us to have our base at spawn and some of those other downsides. It just gives us a little bit more freedom in our builds and allows us to not be so crammed together and not really have to worry about building our base near spawn. So it has some good advantages. I do like the advantages. I would probably recommend a different mod, though. I'm not entirely thrilled with how that one works, but either way, it does its job, and that's all that matters. So I'm gonna find a place to kill this wither, and I'll probably see you there. Right, I think we are ready to fight this guy. In case if any of you want to try at home, bedrock is the same in anyone's world. It doesn't change. So I am right now at -56 and -66. And what that is that puts us just down the hallway from our wonderful gold farm portal. Very conveniently close. You had to scan a little bit of the bedrock here, find a nice spot. Came over to here, cleaned it out, and you can see this is just exactly the place that we want to try this, because if we look above the bedrock, we have this gap right here, air pocket above this spot. And in my creative world, I wanted to make sure that we had full bedrock around, because the first time I tried this, it was just a plus shape and our wither escaped. So he would definitely not be very fun to play with if he escaped this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the last head, and then we're going to flip him up into the bedrock, which will trap him, and we can just sit here and beat on him with our fists for all it matters. So let's just do that. Trap him. And we got to wait for him to blow up. Hopefully this doesn't hurt too bad. There we go. And now he's stuck. And we can just finish him off. Yes, this is a little bit of a cheap way to do it, but it's so early that we don't have the proper equipment, diamond armor and enchants and all of that to do this effectively and, you know, the right way. But, you know, outsmart the game if you can. And there's our nether star. We will leave this contraption for Turkanil. If he wants to come and kill one, I think he'll find it a little cheap, maybe, but I think he'll like the idea of having another star as well for a beacon. As you saw, it makes it a really easy work. There is a place you can get a full list of places in the nether that you can do that kind of a trick with. Oh, I forgot my minecart. And I'll go ahead and include those into the description, as well as a tutorial that I watched on how to do this as well from, I believe it was Doc M. But I'll put that into the description and I can stand corrected at that time if you'd like. But either way, we now have our nether star, so I'm gonna go and make a beacon because I like beacons. Alright. So throw that there. Oh, I need to convert those to normal glass. Alright. So there we have it. We now have our beacon. And we combine that with our little friend. Where'd he go? Right here, block of gold. And I think we can place it somewhere. The question is where? Could put it in that front room there, but not sure if I like the range on that. I'm thinking it would look rather cool to have it right under that. So we have a nice clean view, practically straight up. Not quite though. Dare I? I think I dare. There's a technique to killing these things called pillaring. Basically, you just kind of stand up out of their way and they can't get to you, but they keep trying, and you can kill them just like that. If you're out in the middle of a desert, you can just pillar up 3 spaces. They can't get to you. The only thing that can get you would be the skeleton archers. Even creepers won't really explode on you at this height. So that's kind of convenient. I like to hunt them in the desert just for that reason of being able to see very easily at a distance and very easily find the Enderman as well. It helps to have a map add-on as well, like what we have, but even if you don't, they're pretty easy to spot just normally if you're in a desert. But there we go. It really should make some kind of back door up here. But then we'd get all of these creatures just wandering through. So I don't. So that's what I'm thinking. We do have our shaft down to Y11. I'm thinking I can put it down in that direction and just burrow up right through the middle. I'll probably take out all 4 squares since we do plan on expanding this beacon to have 4. Probably going to do some creative mode testing as well for range and whatnot. It's 64 blocks in any direction. I am believing that's correct, but I'm not sure if that's in a square or a sphere or if it's the entire chunk. So, like I said, we'll have to do some testing and creative for that, but we do have the materials to place it, and I think I have an idea of where. It's just whether we're burying it at Y11-ish or if we want to bring it up to ground level here. Alright, to build our beacon, we're going to want to make a glass hole all the way down to the beacon in our cathedral. So we're going to need a lot more glass. I went and grabbed some cobble out of a thing that I haven't quite shown you yet. this is my cobblestone silo. I just throw it here up top and it hoppers all the way down to the bottom, and I just pull it out from here, refill it with my quarry. So it gives me plenty of base cobblestone. I throw it here in our pulverizer, changes it into sand and gravel, and it smelts into the quite clear glass in this alloy smelter and flows into our chests here. One thing I did notice that must be a bug or something is it is sucking the glass into our 2 alloy smelters here, even though the underside is set to push only and only for this spot. So definitely think that's a bug with this, but I also noticed it's not going into the second. Nope, yep, it is. Never mind. But it's also configured for push only. So I'll have to very much keep an eye on that and put some of these iron transport pipes down here as well to keep things from backfeeding into our devices, which means I also have to put them over here, unfortunately, and that means a speed reduction, but the pipe can take it, so we should be fine. This won't zip through the pipes as fast. But I'll go ahead and finish watching all of this glass finish melting, and we'll take it down with... What's a spider doing in my base? There we go. This ender has Bane of Arthropods 4 on it, so it's very nice for killing spiders. And I guess one other thing I can explain real quick is you noticed when I was in the end, I was actually running fairly fast, especially for being on foot. And what I have is these dark leggings that are added by Ender.io, and as you can see, you can give them a speed boost, which basically involves enchanting with a potion of swiftness, which is kind of a new idea, but it also requires a lot of levels. And it's limited by the amount of power you have on the leggings. You can see how you can empower the leggings with the capacitors and levels as well, which gives them a more RF that they can store and thus be recharged in our little capacitor bank here. And the Ender has the same thing. You upgrade the capacitors, and as long as it has power, it has the half durability damage. So that allows us to walk faster, but more importantly, run pretty fast compared to normal. If I take them off here, this is normal run speed. And we'll put them back on. And now we got our enhanced run speed. You can see it's pretty nice. It can go up one more level to speed 3, which I guess would be about the same speed as a beacon-ish. But I think it can actually end up being a little faster. I hope that it stacks with the beacon. That'll be really nice. But I'm really not holding my breath for that. So let's go ahead and, yeah. There's a few other dark iron things that I'll probably start using. The boots give you a jump effect, so I can jump, 2 blocks, maybe even get to the point of 3 blocks. I don't know. I think it's just 2.5 tops. But I think they'll be very interesting for us to try out and see how they work. Alright, we are ready to dig our trench down to, well, our hole down to our beacon area. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I'll probably time lapse it for you, so see you in a sec. looks like I'm going to have to work on this area a little bit more. There's a lot of lava around here, so let me just clean that up first. But unfortunately, we'll have to do that on our next episode because we are out of time. I know it's sad, but be sure to join us next time and we'll get that cleaned out for you and get our beacon lit. So something to look forward to. And we do have a special project to get started next time, one that I've been kind of alluding to for a little bit now. So be sure to check with us next time. Be sure to hit that like button if you've liked this episode, and do subscribe so you can get notified when we release our next video. And we'll see you next time.